Hello friends, I'm Chris and this is Worthington Home. Today was an awesome thrifting day and it started just like this. It is a beautiful thrifting day and Eric and I are out nice and early. We're headed to an estate sale in Berlin, Connecticut, not that far away at all, and I'm excited to see what they have. We're going up the driveway. It is quite far from the car to the house, so hopefully what we find inside will have made it worth it. Here we are in the garage. You can see there's some interesting artwork out here. It's a little more money than I feel like paying for it, but it's fun to see. And this trinket box is kind of cute and surprisingly heavy. Yeah, very interesting piece. Okay, we're making our way upstairs to the first floor. There are so many interesting books at this estate sale. That's really why we're here, in fact. So I'm just checking them all out. This is a nice desk for somebody who needs a desktop space. $80 for that, which seems like a fair price. Seems to be in excellent condition. There's some reproduction prints here that are framed. Some office chairs and miscellaneous chairs. It's a beautiful dresser with a mirror. That's Victorian. And it's $80. Here we are in a bedroom. The furniture in this estate sale seems very fairly priced to me. I'm just curious about this cute little piece. I wish I had a spot for it. This is $125. It's very unique. I like it a lot. And this is an adorable little dresser. This is in the Empire style. This is sold, and I'm not surprised because it's a really nice piece.
Sold. Love this chair.
I love this chair with matching ottoman. These are also Victorian. More recently reupholstered, I would say, maybe in the last 10 or so years. I wish I had space for those pieces too. These candlesticks are nice. The prices were on the high side. They were nothing super special. This wooden bowl is interesting. And Eric is looking out at the pool. Okay, that was a fun stop. We got a few things, and now we're headed to Salmon Brook Historical Society Flea Market in Granby. This is about a 45-minute drive. It's a beautiful day for it. Here we are. Don't you just love these huge red barns? There is perfect weather for this event. I think they're going to do very well today. I certainly hope so. I love this truck. That is some awesome advertising. Nice old sleds here and some tools. I'm enjoying checking out these Christmas carolers. There's lots of pretty things in this area. I've been gazing at all the treasures on these tables. These are really cute ruby flashed glasses from Windsor Locks. Just showing you a little smattering of the kinds of things I'm looking at so you can get a sense of the place. We have some more carolers. These carolers are for a better price. And this is really pretty for deviled eggs. It's a little Lenox butterfly meadow. If the price were a little lower, I'd be tempted, but I'm not going to pay quite that much for it. Here's a great table full of glassware, pottery, china, all of my faves. These are very pretty. I like the blue and white. It's got a great pattern. This place is really bustling, and it's so fun because there's lots of little nooks and crannies to explore here. Eric is loving this brass-toned eagle. He has one that's very similar to it, and I'm checking out this dog wall art. I think this dog has a great look. There are some beautiful pieces here. So many cool antiques and vintage pieces. There is really something for everyone at this sale. That is a beautiful platter. Here's another great table. Oh, it's such a sweet little drawing. $25 for that. It's adorable. I really like this rocking chair. I'm going to give you a close-up. Isn't that a fabulous design? I love that. $50 for this rocking chair. We're inside that little barn I just showed you, and I see lots of beautiful Limoges. And there's lots of other breakables in here. The aisles are very tight, so I'm trying not to break anything. Eric is in love with his find. Always ask for Avery. I'm really liking this toll tray. I wish it were in better condition. If it were, I would be tempted. And there's some very pretty Stangle plates. This is a beautiful wall-mounted shelf, but they want $75 for it, which isn't good for resale. We've got some old stoneware jugs here and some signs. Oh my gosh, there is just so much here. It's just so fun to poke through. I like this basket, $17 for that. We have a nice collection of Fiesta ware. And I'm looking at all of the ephemera and the books and the prints. This is a great booth. This space is from a viewer of this channel. I like that sailboat spongeware. I guess that's not a sailboat, that's a clipper ship, isn't it? Pretty mixing bowl. I like the scale. Oh, I love these mushrooms, and they're French.
Got good stuff. You can.
Here's a nice collection of vintage pictures. This one's especially nice because, of course, it's Hall. This is really fabulous. There's no price on it, so I'm not sure how much they want for it. But there's some excellent pottery bowls and some planters, all kinds of beautiful things. These tables are styled so well. It's a pleasure to look through them. It's nice to see some Catherine home. I never can afford it for resale, but if I ever find a piece I can resell, believe me, I will scoop it right up. Eric is trying on this fabulous wool jacket. They have so many fantastic vintage pieces, all super high quality. So we're looking through very carefully.
A lot older.
This one's nice. He's not sure about the fit. He is very particular, but I think he looks awfully handsome. Of course, I'm biased. Okay, we're headed out. What a successful day. You can see we've bought lots of things, and I'm carrying stuff too. It's a bummer to say goodbye to this flea market. I want to stay for even longer, but we're actually on to our next stop. We're headed to Massachusetts. There's an estate sale we want to check out. This is so funny. Eric just saw this barn and he wanted to check out the doors because he's looking to make doors just like this for his dad's garage. It's just an open garage and he wants to be able to lock it up. So he's studying carefully. Okay, we just arrived at the estate sale. This is day 2 and in the afternoon, so it might be pretty picked over. There's the sign. We're in the right place for sure, and we're heading up to the house. Well, there is a lot of glassware, and I can tell you on day 2 in the afternoon, there should not be this much inventory, which definitely tells me that the prices are on the high side. That's okay, just might not be a lot here for me today. Here is a little enclosed porch area. There's so much china in this room. This is a fabulous, crazy quilt. There's some damage here and there. These things can be fragile. The quilts are $150. There's quite a few of them here. And I'm just showing you around this bedroom because there really is a lot to see here. They want $245 for this dresser. This chenille bedspread is really lovely, and the one under it is really special as well. It looks like a peacock. They want $150 each for them. And there's some framed art in this room and some other things. Here's an interesting collection of Raggedy Ann dolls, $5 to $25, I guess, depending on which one you pick out. Okay, that was interesting. We have a bit of a drive back, but I think it was well worth the time we spent here today. So Eric, what did you get at the estate sale?
This is an air gauge. Back in the day, or even they make them today, obviously, but not as nice as this. You check your air and it'll tell you how much air you have in your tire. It's just all metal.
Why did you want this?
Because it's just cool looking.
Okay. You said that was made in Brooklyn, New York?
Yes, Brooklyn, New York. And there's no patent. Patent date is 1923.
Cool. So it's an antique?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Nice. Well, just open up that slidey thing so I can show everybody what you're looking at there.
That would tell you that.
It's like glaring, so just move it up a little. There we go. Okay, now we see it. All right, that's cool. And then what was the other piece you bought?
Just a Star manufacturer.
But what is that?
Bottle opener.
Okay, and tell us about Star.
There's just they were the manufacturer of those. There's a lot of reproductions out there. But Star, that's the original one.
How old do you estimate this to be? There's the back, in case anybody wants to know.
Price can go from the 50s all the way up to the 70s, maybe. I don't know.
So this gets mounted on the wall, right?
Correct.
So yeah, cute little pieces, 2 purchases from Eric. So it was an interesting estate sale. The prices definitely made it hard to pick up things for reselling. However, if you wanted things for your own collection, you could probably make that work. There were some antique quilts for around $150. There were some vintage chenille bedspreads for about the same price. So lots of tempting things. There was some Limoges. I didn't pick up Limoges. I have plenty of it and it wasn't in my pattern. But we found that if we really picked through carefully, we were able to get some good prices. So I'll show you my finds when we get home. It was definitely a stop worth making. Time to head home. I am tired, but I am a very happy thrifter. So the estate sale that we went to this morning was not that exciting, but in fairness, I didn't expect that it was going to be. I had my eye out on some very specific things, which I actually did acquire. And as an added bonus, the estate sale was very close to our house. So it wasn't a big deal to swing by there on our way to bigger and better things. So what I had noticed in the pictures was that there were a lot of really interesting reference books. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to pick those up. And I was so pleased because they were only $1. Sometimes hardcovers are $2. I've even gone to some sales where they're $4. But when things are only $1, that's a really good price. The estate sale, as you saw in the footage, also had a few pieces of really nice antique furniture that I had no room for, and a few other fun things. There was a Catherine Home piece that was unfortunately damaged. There was a wooden container that had a great shape. It was made by Dansk, but it had a crack in the wood. So nothing was like super compelling to pick up other than what I was there for, but I was so pleased. I spent a total of $8. And I got this great reference book. It's a price guide to Rookwood. And I'm not looking for prices because those of course fluctuate with the market. What I'm really looking for is more information about Rookwood and what it looks like. To my knowledge, I don't encounter this very often in the wild at all, but I did this summer at an antique store, and at the time I just didn't know much of anything about it, so it will be fun to learn more. I also bought the Character Jugs Collector's Handbook because I do collect Toby character jugs, and again I just thought it would be so much fun to learn more. Oh, including the Shakespeare figure made by Royal Dalton, which I also have. So I thought, again, just a really nice reference book. You know, I used to think there was no point in having these books other than just decorative, looking through the pictures, which is a good enough reason. But I always figured I could just do my research online. The truth is, there's not a lot of great information that way online. I think a lot of times people rely on eBay listings, which are often inaccurate. And mine probably are also sometimes inaccurate because I'm basing them on older listings that were inaccurate, that base them on older listings that were inaccurate. So eBay is certainly one resource you can check out, and it will provide some information, but not all of the information. I sometimes use Google Lens as well to find out some information about a piece, but that's also heavily relies on eBay or Etsy or other sources. There's something comforting about being able to go right to a book and find your information and feel really comfortable that it's accurate. So I'm not saying I'm gonna have time every time I do a listing to consult a book, but if I can make myself more familiar with the contents of these books, I can be a more knowledgeable buyer and seller, and that can only be a good thing, right? So I also bought, I thought this was really interesting. This is Magnificent Tiffany Lamps, and this is an old Christie's auction catalog. So I guess these were for sale in 1980, and it has some great photographs, some great photographs of some of the Tiffany lamps that were for sale that day. Now, I am very unlikely to acquire actual Tiffany lamps at an auction in Sotheby's because I am not a quadrillionaire. However, I think there's still something to be learned from a book like that, and old auction catalogs can be really interesting to go through. So I got that. Oh, I thought this was a nice find. This is a reference book on Roseville pottery, and I do have a very small collection of Roseville. So this will be wonderful to go through and just learn a little bit more. In fact, I'll show you my Roseville. Again, very small collection. I'll show it to you right here. Here are my 3 lone pieces of Roseville. I have this pretty bowl in such an unusual shape. I really love this piece. And then in a slightly different pattern, I have these 2 beautiful Roseville vases. These are put away these days because of crazy Destructo cats. So I have these tucked away for safekeeping. There would be too many tears spilled if something happened to these. But I do keep this bowl sitting on my record player, only because it has such a low profile. I don't think it would be that interesting to them. And I keep it kind of tucked away under the shelf, and I think that's safe enough. So I don't enjoy my Roseville every day. To be honest, I'd rather keep it safe than see it every day. And when I want to see it, I can always pull it out and enjoy it. And I hope someday it will be safe and the cats will be a little bit calmer. Fingers crossed. This seemed a little bit random, but that made me want it all the more, if I'm going to be honest. This is about Griswold muffin pans. So this is pretty specific stuff. But again, I thought it would be interesting just to learn more. We have one that is like a corn on the cob. I don't know that ours was specifically a Griswold muffin pan, but after I read this book, I'll know. Is it or is it not? The answer is pending. The last reference book I picked up was all about Nippon. And of course, I do come across Nippon from time to time. I have sold a little bit of Nippon. It doesn't tend to fetch crazy high prices, or at least not the Nippon that I have had, but it is lovely, and it would be nice to be more informed about it. So those were the reference books that I picked up at the estate sale. I also bought 2 other books because the topics were so compelling to me. So this one is so funny. Eric and I both loved this book. We reached for it like at the same time. This is an Alfred Hitchcock Presents Stories for Late at Night, and has Alfred Hitchcock holding his own head. How good is that? Did you watch Alfred Hitchcock, the TV show, when you were a kid or in reruns? If you did and you loved it as much as I did, please leave me a comment. I was a huge fan. I used to watch it on Nick at Night,
in my bedroom when I was in like middle school and high school. I used to love them. I would like binge watch these Alfred Hitchcocks, and then I'd watch The Twilight Zone, which was at least as good, if not better. So those were big favorites for me, and Eric loved them as well. So this struck me as an awesome little find. Apparently there's a lot of books from this series, which I didn't know, and I just want to see if I can find a date on this one to share with you because it's pretty funny. Let me see. 1961. So actually this would be fun for Halloween decor too because it's definitely creepy. The last book I picked up at this estate sale just touched my heart, and I know some of you are going to like this book too because we've talked about this in the comments section of previous videos. And this is Nancy Drew, Girl Sleuth, the woman who created her. And I know there are Nancy Drew fans out there. I love Nancy Drew with all of my heart. So it would be fun to read about the author, Carolyn Keene. She wrote a lot of fabulous books, and so this one will be fun. So it says, when Nancy Drew was introduced, she wore close hats and gloves whenever she was out in public. In the 50s, she changed to sports dresses and rompers and even, gasp, pants. So I guess this will give us lots of information about Nancy Drew, and I'm looking forward to learning more. So after the estate sale, we kind of hightailed it to Granby. Their historical society was sponsoring a flea market, and I heard about this through my friend Joan, who had planned to go, but unfortunately she and her husband got sick and they weren't able to go. They were in bed feeling miserable instead, so sorry. And hi Joan, if you're watching this, hope you're feeling better. But it was great. I really am not at all familiar with Granby, and oh my gosh, were there beautiful historic homes, one after another. And at the time of this filming, this is peak foliage season in Connecticut, absolute peak. It was gorgeous. Every road we drove down was absolutely beautiful. And so it was fun to kind of check out parts of the state that I'm less familiar with. Again, I guess I haven't had cause to go out to Granby, but I would definitely go to the historical tag sale flea market again in the future, because it was a really fun time. And because it was outdoors, it didn't have kind of some of that crowded congestion you can get at other tag sales that are put on a grand scale. This wasn't a tag sale, it was a flea market, but it was a really good one. So Eric came with me. He came with me to the estate sale as well, and we found a few good things. So in no particular order, I'm gonna have to deal with Indy. Hold on one second. I'm sorry to change the subject. I'll get right back to the flea market, but I have loopy cases. I love loopy cases for my phone. I've had these for years. It's my very favorite phone case to have, and because I just love being able to thread my finger through. And this is like a rubbery feature, so it's just very conformable to your hand. And this is great when I'm listening and filming and all the things that I do. But Indy loves to chew on the loop, and he's broken through, probably 10 loops since I've had him with his little needle teeth. And replacing a loop is like $7 plus shipping. So actually when I get them, I'll buy like 3 at a time, because you would think like I'm just being negligent about my loopy case, but no. If I put it down for half a second, faced this way, he is on this thing so fast, chewing it with needle teeth, that it beggars belief. So anyway, he was about to eat my loop, and I had to stage a kitty intervention. So I'm gonna put my loopy case over here because I'm sick and tired of buying loops. That said, let me show you what I bought at the flea market. So one of the first things I picked up was this fabulous Belique plate. So I already have one Belique plate. This one will be going next to it, and I'll show that to you after I finish showing my haul. Here's the back stamp. And I think I paid $10 for this, if memory serves. No more than 15. So I was happy to find that. And then I really loved this. So I saw this box. So nothing but goodness can come out of a box that says Belique on it, and it's green. That's a good sign as well. So when I opened it up, oh my goodness, are you ready for the cuteness? Check out this fabulous Bleak owl that is also a vase that needs to be cleaned. Let's not do that anymore. Isn't it so great? I absolutely fell in love with this owl. Look at the wings. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So on its side is a tag that says $35 owl. So I was thinking about that because I'm not saying it wasn't worth $35. I just didn't really want to pay $35 just because I'm cheap, not for another reason. Oops. And the woman actually said to me, oh, that owl is $15. So I said, sold. And I grabbed the owl. So I was really excited to find this. There was another Bleak vase as well that was very, very pretty. It had flowers on it. I didn't pick that one up. It was lovely, but it wasn't really special or unique. I'd run into lots of really pretty vases with flowers. If it had had shamrocks, I would have definitely picked it up. I love that this is an owl, so I picked this one up. A while back, I was able to find one that was shaped like corn on the cob. So random, but I like, the uniqueness of things sometimes. So I left the other one, but I was really happy to have this one, which I'm keeping. As you can see, I have added my second Bleak plate and the owl. They are on the very top shelf. This owl didn't fit on any of the other shelves. That's why he ended up being so high. And as we go down, you will see more awesome Bleak pieces that I so enjoy. So the set is definitely growing and I love it. And this is all on the wall, the shelving wall display that I picked up at a fabulous estate sale in East Haddam. That was one of the best estate sales I have ever been to. So it's really cute. I love the way this is turning out, but again, one last shout out. Sorry, I keep going up and down. There are the new acquisitions on the right and in the middle. I really like them. While we're talking about Bleak, this is not Bleak, but makes me think of the Irish theme. This is just a little mug with shamrocks on it, and it is called Knock Pottery. Made in Ireland. I just love things made in Ireland. It says Ireland on it. So I picked this up. This was $3. And I'm disinclined to pick up mugs generally because they're sort of obnoxious to store. But I love anything made in Ireland or anything with shamrocks. Always really calls to me. So I was glad to pick that one up. I also found these two really pretty bowls. These are Spode bowls. So it was $6 for the pair. So here is what they look like. They have this beautiful floral pattern. I loved the blue color. And I think that's a tulip. Yep, I'm pretty sure these are tulips. And it's a nice little bowl. It says Spode on the back. And I figured these would be great just for display or for decor or for use. I just thought they were lovely, so I picked those up. If I look nervous now, it's because Iris just entered the scene. I'm just seeing what she's doing. She might be okay. She's okay. All right, so I bought those. I also bought, speaking of Iris, ooh, perfect segue. Oh my goodness, I bought this little Lennox kitty with its little ball. Isn't that so cute? It looks like Iris. Let me take the sticker off. It was $7. I want you to get a better look. Actually, it was $7 and I think I offered $5 and she accepted $5. I would have paid $7 if she wouldn't go down. Isn't that so sweet? I love this. And here is the Lennox back stamp, if you can see that. So I'm keeping this little kitty because it looks like Iris. It's gonna go into my corner cabinet that holds my transferware and also holds a Lennox snail that Iris broke and I repaired. She's not gonna break this one. It's going right into the corner cabinet. Here is the adorable Lennox cat. I didn't let any time go by between getting this thing out of my hands and into the corner cabinet because I know too well
But if this were left out, it would be toast. So here it is, nice and safe in my cabinet. And it's really nice because I can see it right through the glass doors. And up here on the shelf above it is the snail that they managed to break, but I glued back. So the cat will not share the fate of the snail. It's in here safe and sound.
While I was at the flea market, I met a viewer of this channel, Bella. So hi Bella, if you're watching. Bella had a fantastic space with a friend of hers. And she had said to me in the beginning, kind of apologetically, that she was pretty sure she didn't have anything that I would want. Well, I have to tell you, she had fabulous things and she couldn't be more wrong. So I was really happy to pick up some things from Bella's space. I don't know if they were hers or her friends, but they were fabulous. So for $1 each, I picked up, again, a reference book. I know I've already talked about those, but I got this one on Carnival glass. Now I had another one on Carnival glass not that long ago. This one is really kind of different. It has all kinds of statistics in it, measurements that accompany pictures, and a price guide. And I realize price guides are not accurate today because the market changes so much, but I thought it was just fun as a reference. And I really loved this one. So this is all about English Delftware. And I thought that would be so nice to learn more about. Again, there's pictures, there's information, and I always love to learn more about Delftware because it's so fabulous and has such an interesting history to it. Oh my gosh, and then Eric found this, all about Hull china. And oh, do I love Hull. I love, 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 love Hull. I've sold a ton of Hull. I collect Hull. So this is gonna be so fun to read through. I'm also pretty good at spotting it, but it will be nice to become more familiar with some of the patterns, especially some of the solid patterns that I don't know as well. So nice little find. And the last thing I bought from them is this adorable little framed print of a mushroom, and the writing is in French. And I thought that was just a sweet piece. I like things with mushrooms on them. This was $5. I'll have to do a better job of getting the sticker off than I just did. You can see I left all of this residue, but I thought that was very sweet. So I picked it up. I found this fabulous group of Christmas carolers, and I thought they were so sweet. There was actually a person who had them on sale for $15 each, and I passed them by. This vendor had them for $7, no, $8 for the adults, $5 for the children, and then she did a bundle deal with me, so I picked them up. Now, Eric sort of freaked out when he saw them because we sold so many of these at an online estate sale that he still sees them in his nightmares. However, I think they are completely adorable. So I grabbed them. I love the little muff. They all have wonderful little details, and they definitely are Christmassy and fun. So I was thinking these would be awesome at my store space because hopefully that's starting in December, and I thought these would be a nice addition. That said, of course, if anybody watching this video is interested, just let me know. I'll get comparable prices and we can always do a deal. But I was really happy to find these. The other thing I picked up were these fabulous vintage, or actually these are antique because these are all over 100 years old. These fabulous different holiday themed postcards. I decorate my own house with these like crazy, especially around Christmas time. And I thought it would be really fun to have some of these again at my booth space at Quality Consignments in Colchester when that gets started in December. The only one I'm definitely keeping is this one, which has the stain, but I don't mind because I will use this one if I decorate for the 4th of July. But other than that, I am certainly gonna think about parting with these. I might keep one here or there, but I thought they were awesome. Thought they'd be really fun just to leaf through at my booth. But of course, again, if anybody is really interested in these, just let me know and we can always work something out. But I thought they were really fun and I thought they'd have a great look in my space. The next thing I want to show you is this fabulous vintage Pendleton wool, I don't know, it's like a wool coat. It's like a shirt coat. You know what I mean. This is great for wearing outside. It has lining all around the back of it. And I haven't tried this on yet. I did buy this for myself. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, I love this. It's so good. Oh my goodness. Authentic black watch tartan. So this is really fabulous. I know you can't see it too well. Let me try to back up a little bit so you can get the sense of it. Yeah, it's oversized. It's a large and I'm really a medium, but I wanted it oversized and cozy so I could wear something under it and not feel too bulky. The sleeve size is really good. I paid $30 for this, but I love vintage Pendleton and I was really excited to find this. I really like the dealers as well. There were two gentlemen, both named Pete, so easy to remember. And they gave me a lot of tips about selling in different venues. And they actually have booth spaces in Massachusetts. So Eric and I are gonna do a day trip one of these days. And he bought something from them as well. His is so heavy. He bought this fabulous kind of lumberjack looking heavy wool coat. It's like, again, a shirt coat. And this is really awesome. This is actually meant for hunting. And the pocket is apparently meant, and Eric will not use it this way, I assure you, not unless he wants a divorce. And I don't think he does. Trying to open up this button. Okay, this huge pocket here is for storing your game birds after you've, done away with them. So, I mean, that conjures up so many disturbing images, I can't even start. But this will not be used that way. Eric will just use this kind of out and about. It has a great look. It's beautifully made. There's no label in this, but it's a fabulous vintage clothing find. You cannot find clothes made like this today. And he looked really handsome in this. I did include some footage, so hopefully you were able to get a good look. I almost forgot to show you the last thing that we picked up at the flea market. Eric bought this. He was excited to have it. It says, always ask for Avery. It was made in New Britain, Connecticut. And I can't remember, he told me what this was. I think it was maybe a soda or an ale or something. I don't remember. This box is a little bit beaten up and it's missing a slat in the bottom. It's got some paint on it. But this is going in the barn and he absolutely was thrilled to find it. And it was funny because as we continued to walk through the flea market, he got a few comments and questions about it. So I think there were a lot of fans of that particular piece. So again, fantastic time at the flea market. I would go back, I would go back again for sure. I was really happy with what I picked up and I feel like I had some good finds and I also showed some restraint. I didn't pick up some stuff that I already have a lot of on my store, so nice variety and didn't spend too much. So that was great. Afterwards, we were very tempted by an antique store that we saw in Granby. We will go back and check that out another day, but I wanted to quickly make our way into Massachusetts. Actually, we were not that far from an estate sale that a friend of mine and a viewer of this channel, Kathy, hi Kathy, if you're watching, Kathy had actually told me about this estate sale and had said it looked good, and she was not kidding. It was apparently the estate of someone who had been a lifelong collector. She had been collecting for 50 years. She had amassed unbelievable amounts of treasures. And so I knew this was day two, and day two might be incredibly picked over. And as I've said many times on this channel, you never know with an estate sale. Sometimes the prices are very high. Sometimes they're very low. Sometimes they're in between. You just never know. But we were only about 40 minutes or so away, so it seems silly not to check it out. And I'm really, really glad we did. So overall, I would say the prices were fine for collectors, not great for resellers, and that's okay. But even with that kind of price structure, I was able to find a few good pieces to resell. So I bought this stack of Port Marion. So it's 3 dinner plates and a small bowl. The bowl was made in England. The plates were also made in England. I just wanted to make sure that was true. And they all, of course, as Port Marion always does, they have the different fabulous patterns on them. I've sold Port Marion before and I've had really good success. Oh, this one has either some dirt or some staining, so I'm gonna have to look at this one more carefully to see if I want to sell. Oh, this is oh wow, this one's really old. This one's from well, not really old, but this one's from 1972. I don't often see them that old, so that's actually very interesting. The other two are not as old, they're more recent. So anyway, whenever I've had Port Marion on my store, it's sold really well. I am a fanatical collector of Port Marion myself. I definitely don't need more dinner dishes or bowls though, so I will be listing those on my store. If you are thinking about investing in a new dinnerware collection, and I'm not just saying this because I'm selling it, I'm telling you this is a collector of it. Port Marion is fantastic stuff. You can put it in the dishwasher, you can put it in the microwave, you can put it in the oven. If you are a little rough with it, it's not super prone to cracking or chipping. I've had fantastic success. The only Port Marion I ever lost was when Iris knocked over a huge stack of bowls and you could hear the screaming from probably Alaska. It's okay, I replaced them. But Port Marion is awesome stuff. So just a little tip, it is not cheap. It is not cheap to collect, but it is fantastic. It's beautiful. It lasts forever. That's my little spiel about Port Marion. The other maker I really love for like day-to-day dishes, I think Villeroy and Boch make some fabulous things. Again, you can be on the rough side with it. It's beautiful, it's durable. So if I couldn't have Port Marion, I would probably invest in Villeroy and Boch because I think it's pretty similar in terms of quality. I also found for $1 this very beaten up copy of Mastering the Art of French Cooking. So you're probably looking at this cover and thinking, why on earth would you pick this up? And to be honest, it gets even worse because somebody wrote in it, oh, I wish they hadn't done that. But the truth is, Mastering the Art of French Cooking always sells for me with the cover or without it. This is volume 1, and this was made in 1971. So this is not a first edition. The first publishing was in 1961. So this is the 20th publishing. So this guy is not super duper rare, and fanatical collectors won't have a heart attack of excitement about this. But it is a nice book. It's got all of the recipes. They're still hard to find even when they're 20th editions. They're not around every corner. I'll show you what it looks like with the cover off. It looks much better. And the inside is clean. There's no splatters. It's not dog-eared. The binding is tight. So it is a really nice book. And I'm thinking somebody will be really happy to have this. Here's the inside just to show you. It's in, am I turning this upside down? No. It's in nice condition. I've always wanted a copy of this myself, but oops, a piece of paper just fell out. I'm gonna have to see what that is. I've always wanted copies of these books myself, but oh, it was just a little scribbled on piece of paper. But the truth is, I am really not careful with my things. And if a collector who is careful wants to buy this and I can make a profit from it, it's probably the better course of action. I collect cookbooks, but I don't cook much. And when I do cook and use cookbooks, I tend to make a mess of them. So I don't think I even deserve that copy, is the truth of it. Oh, it's confession time at Worthington Home.
The last purchase that I want to show you are these fabulous knife rests. I really love these. I had thrifted a whole pile of them when I went to an estate sale in North Haven. I think I bought all of them for like $10, which was ridiculous. These were $5 a piece, so not a screaming deal, but I thought a fair price and still some potential to resell. So if you're looking to add knife rests to your dining room table, and I will tell you, they create such a nice kind of extra special look, you'll be able to find these on my eBay store. Now, these aren't all matched. As you can see, there's different ones. So they're not a collected matched set, but I like different pieces on a table. I think that makes the tablescape so much more interesting.
So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this haul. I had a phenomenal time shopping for all of these fun things. I'll be honest, it was a long day, and when we got home, I was tired. I actually took a little nap, and then I had to run to the store because I ran out of cat food. Can I tell you that when we run out of cat food, which happens sometimes, if we try to just like buy ourselves a couple of hours of time by giving the cats tuna, they're really not that interested in tuna. They don't like it that much. They kind of turn their nose up at it. I have never in my life had a cat who was not obsessed with tuna fish, including my last cat, Archie, who was a very old guy. And he was quite ill, and he was honestly like at death's door, and he lost his appetite. So I started feeding him tuna, just figuring like, let's let his last meals be as good as they can be. Let me tell you, that little cat perked up and lived for another year, because I think he figured if I'm gonna have tuna every day, I'm gonna live forever. He kind of did. So he loved it. And all of my cats have always loved tuna. These two, they're not into it. So yeah, so I gave them some tuna for their sort of midday meal, and they're like, They walked away from it. The dogs ended up with the tuna, and I went to the grocery store like a guilty mama. I bought them some food. They're all taken care of now. And then I wanted to come back and film this haul video. But it was a long day, fun day, long day. It does take a lot out of you. You know, you're driving around, you're finding your bearings, you park far away, you walk up. But I was so happy with all of the things I bought. It was completely worth it. And it was such a fun mix of a day, you know, 2 estate sales and a flea market in between. I will definitely tell you the flea market was by far the best part of the day. Oh, but where I was going with that long-winded story is, do any of you have cats that don't care for tuna? I'm just so curious because, like I said, I've owned cats my entire life, and I've never had cats that don't like tuna. So I'm just curious, do any of you have cats like that? And if you do have cats like that, is there something that they love to eat? I don't feel like I found the exact like brand of food or type of food that they really get super excited by. And maybe they're just finicky. Goodness knows they like to give me the runaround. But I would be very interested in any tips if you have them. So let me know in the comments.
As I close out this video, I thought you would enjoy seeing Indy and Iris playing their absolute favorite game. They love to chase this laser light all around the house. It is very entertaining. Sometimes they just meow at me until I play with them. So I thought you might get a kick out of seeing it, especially because I've talked about the cats a fair bit on this video. So here they are, a couple of cutie pies having an awesome time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.